In this video, I'm going to discuss one of my favorite topics, and a topic that I really feel that I've got a lot of value to add. I'm going to be discussing how I went from a shy, quiet introvert with a crippling lack of self-confidence and a crippling lack of self-worth, all the way through to a confident introvert that has embraced all aspects of being an introvert. So, step number one, and I think it's probably the most basic but most important place to start. You need to appreciate that introversion and extroversion has nothing to do with confidence, and that you can be a very, very confident introvert. So, let's talk a little bit about the science, and let's talk a little bit about the psychology around being an introvert and being an extrovert. It links into the hormone dopamine. So if you're an extrovert and you're in somewhere like a bar, a nightclub, somewhere where there's a lot of people, somewhere where there's loud music, somewhere where there's just very high energy level, you instantly feel stimulated. You want to stay in that environment. You don't want to go home. And if you do go home, you want the party to continue because your dopamine levels are just rising and rising and rising and rising. Now, to all the introverts watching, and I'm also speaking to myself when I say this, if you're in that same situation, you feel tired, you feel drained, and you want to withdraw pretty quickly. You may be able to stick it out for a little while. You may even enjoy it for a little while, but fundamentally, you're going to feel a lot more drained before your extroverted counterparts do. So when I was growing up and I spent a lot of my time in bars and nightclubs, I instantly wanted to go home. I never understood it. I'd be having drinks with my friends before we went out in a small group. I'd even be having drinks with my friends in a bigger group, and I would be loving it. I'd feel like I was really connecting with the people that I was with, and I would just feel really positive and really excited for what was to come. Then I'd go into the bar, I'd go into the nightclub, and suddenly that energy would go, and I'd just think, I wish it was an hour ago when we were back home. Or I'd think, kind of tired, kind of ready for the night to finish. And when I was younger, I couldn't process why I used to feel like that, and I used to wish that I could be more like the extroverts. Now I understand that it's nothing to do with me as a person, and it's not a criticism of me as a person. I can fully reflect, and I can fully enjoy that. And it's really powerful, and it really builds confidence because you realize that there's nothing wrong with you. And from doing that, you can then really embrace the strengths that you've got and all the things that you enjoy about being an introvert. And if you're an introvert, you're going to take a lot of enjoyment from life in one-on-one activities with close friends or activities on your own. So if you're with a friend, you're going to enjoy deep conversation. You might enjoy something like cooking, something where you feel that you're really connecting and you're really working on building something. Or if you're on your own, you may enjoy podcasts, reading, drawing, something where you're really letting your creativity flourish in that way. But the important thing is to do the things that you enjoy and embrace the things that you enjoy and not pressurize yourself to enjoy things that extroverts do. And that then leads me into my second point, which is to embrace all the good things about being an introvert in the right places. So as I said, bars and nightclubs are not going to be your friends, and bars and nightclubs are going to be things that you're going to want to avoid. You're never going to feel fulfilled, you're never going to feel stimulated, and you'll feel pretty disenchanted. So as I said, you'll be in there, you'll be around people, and you'll just probably feel that you're not really connecting. That lack of connection will then lead you to feeling like a little bit of an outsider. That feeling of feeling like an outsider can then really just leave you questioning why you're there. And when you question why you're there, you kind of begin to disengage with yourself, and you begin to think that there's something wrong with you. Let's flip it, and let's put you in an environment where you feel really, really comfortable. Let's imagine that you're sitting with one of your friends having dinner. Suddenly you're feeling excited because you're connecting, you're chatting to that person, and you're really, really, really enjoying it because you're feeling that you're actually really connecting with someone. And this links into something called width versus depth. So, introverts will have experiences in life that come with a lot of width. They're going to have a lot of friends. They're going to go out a lot. They're going to go to a wide range of bars, a wide range of nightclubs. And they're probably going to find a lot of instant fulfillment in society because much of society's activities tend to revolve around drinking, tend to revolve around alcohol, and tend to just generally revolve around being in big groups. By contrast though, as an introvert, you need to embrace everything that comes with the depth in life. So this will mean developing close friendships with your family, close friendships with your friends, a really strong relationship with your partner, a really strong relationship with all the people that come into your life and you deem to be important. And you need to do this in environments that suit you. And this can be so powerful. And this is something that honestly made a huge difference to my confidence when I realized that. Once I realized that a social life could actually take place outside of a bar, outside of a nightclub, outside somewhere that society told me it should be, it was so powerful because I realized that everybody I was meeting, I was bonding with, I was connecting with, and I was developing a really, really strong relationship with. And on a side note too, because we talk a lot about dating on this channel, introverts often think that they're really bad daters because they don't have that charisma that they see their extroverts have. This is wrong. Introverts can massively develop charisma. And honestly, when I say this, I am not joking. A confident introvert is the best flirter, and a confident introvert can be one of the most attractive person because a confident introvert can read the room. They've got really good social skills because they can calibrate their social skills with who they're with. A confident introvert can build fantastic rapport because it suits their skill set. And linking into that too, a confident introvert can really, really build sexual tension because they can build that dynamic with the person that's directly in front of them. By contrast, an extrovert can't do that. And a really good way of thinking about it is that extroverts are focused on everything that's going on around them, whereas introverts are focused on what's directly going on in front of them. And it doesn't take a genius to work out which one of those is better in a dating dynamic. And this links into the next point as well, which is as an introvert, you need to take pride and you need to embrace the fact that you don't need to be a performer. So imagine that you're at a party and imagine that you're looking around, you're feeling shy, you're feeling a little bit like you don't fit in because you're not chatting to people. And then you look to your right and you can see an extrovert and he's got a group of people around them. He's cracking jokes, he's being loud, he's being brash. Or you see a confident extroverted female out there who's dancing, getting all eyes on her, getting all the attention. And you look at that and you think, shit, like I wish I could be that. Well, the bad news is you're never gonna be that. However, the good news is you're gonna be something that's probably a lot more fulfilling than that for you. So now let's imagine you're at that same party and you're chatting to two people that you've never met before. You're engaged with them. You're really having deep, meaningful conversations. You're forming a bond. And as you leave, you begin to think, I have really enjoyed this evening. Well, why did you enjoy that evening? You didn't enjoy that evening because it was all about you. You didn't enjoy that evening because you were the performer. You enjoyed that evening because you lent into your skill set and you did what you found really exciting and really, really fulfilling. And again, this was super, super powerful for me because once I realized that I could use that skill set and I could use it as a natural asset, I began to find that every time I met a small group of people, I could build rapport brilliantly because I understood that. And I realized that I didn't need to build rapport by being loud, by being seen as confident. I could build rapport by just embracing all the aspects of being an introvert that I felt most comfortable with. My fourth tip, and this is one that will really turn a weakness into a strength. So, you know it, right? You're an introvert, you overthink all the time. You massively amplify situations in your head and you consistently wonder why you're just overthinking yet again. Well, the next time you find yourself overthinking, take that desire to overthink and turn it into a positive. So for me as an overthinker and as an introverted overthinker, every time I get that feeling, I focus on thinking about what I'm passionate about. I focus on thinking about what I stand for. I focus on thinking about what excites me and what I want to get out of life. And suddenly, the weakness that I feel from overthinking all the negative things in life and all the things that I wish I could do turns into a positive because I begin to feel excited. And then I go one step further as well when I'm overthinking about it. And then I think about what that would look like. I start to think, well, I'm passionate about this. How can I show that? How can I communicate that? How can I bring value to that? And honestly, it makes a real difference because you begin to feel excited and you'll begin to feel that adrenaline rushing through your body. And the overthinking won't feel negative. And you'll actually crave the time when you can be alone to overthink because you've got new things to think about and passionate things to think about. And that then leads me into my final point, which is finding other ways to express yourself. So as I said, when discussing extroverts, particularly when discussing the extrovert at the party, they're expressing themselves by being the center of attention. They're expressing themselves by being one of the people that's got the most amount of eyes on them. Well, you can still have eyes on you, but you're probably not going to do it in that way. So maybe you're really passionate about writing. Sit down and embrace that aspect of you've got of writing. Maybe you're really, really passionate about something else creative. Embrace that and lean into that. And if you can, link it into everything that I said in the previous point about what you stand for. Because honestly, it can really, really make a massive difference. And another thing to add as well when talking about this too, I classify myself as very introverted, but I also classify myself as a good public speaker. And the reason that I've done that, and the reason that I've come to see myself as a good public speaker, is because I love one-on-one communication. So when I'm doing something in public that involves speaking, I imagine that I am talking to one person, or I imagine that I'm talking to a small group of people. And whilst it may seem counterintuitive and you may think that's going into performer mode, it's not. Because as I said, an extrovert is focusing on everything that's going on around them, an introvert is focused on what's going on in front of them. So if I'm speaking to a big group, I'm focusing on the small groups that I've got in front of me, and I'm focusing on everything that I'm talking about. And this isn't being a performer at all, this is really doing something that I said previously, which is expressing yourself. And this is also why I continue to put out videos on this YouTube channel, because this is a way that I can express myself. Sometimes I'm just talking to my camera and I still feel like I'm expressing myself. And I honestly cannot tell you the amount of fulfillment that that brings into my life and how energized it makes me feel when I do this. So don't ever feel that just because you're an introvert, you can't express yourself. You are absolutely allowed to express yourself, and you are allowed to express yourself in an own way. And as you do that, you will feel so confident, I can promise you that. So that's everything that I've got to mind now. And this could honestly be an hour-long video, but I've kept it to 10 minutes or so because I think that's the right time frame for this. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this. And if you're a fellow introvert, I genuinely hope I brought you so much value. If you like this video, please can I ask you to click like and subscribe down below. And if you really liked it, I'm also offering one-on-one coaching at the website also down below. But as always, guys, nothing but love. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.